and today I'm gonna review...
Hey there, how are you?
Hello there, my name's The Wild Reviewer, or at least that's what I've been told. And this is a series I used to do called The Wild Review. It was a review series that ran for 6 seasons from 2015 to 2018. Everything since then has either been a mini-series, or this in particular series, Rewild. A series I've created that allows me to look back at some old Wild Review episodes to see if what I talked about still holds up today. Because I have changing opinions. I am a growing boy, and some things I've said about TV shows or movies or just other various topics may have changed within the last couple of years, and that's what I'm setting out to do here. I'm gonna look back at various different Wild Review episodes to see if what I said is something I can still agree with. Or maybe I'm just making fun of my younger self. That's very possible. So, unless you have something better to do, which part of me highly doubts, seems like you're gonna be stuck with me for the next couple of minutes as we take a trip into the past. This is the Wild Review Rewild. This season has a theme also. We're going on a road trip.
Wild like wild like.
Bad news, everybody. We're grounded today. It appears the magical green screen of green does not want to take us on an adventure today. What that means is we are stuck where we are. Hey, I have an idea. Let's check out an old Wild Review episode, why don't we? We might as well. I'm here. Hey, and to contribute to the fact that we have a normal green screen here, I guess you're really seeing how we're able to travel to all these different places. You're getting a behind-the-scenes look at how we make this happen. Why don't we check out the behind-the-scenes episode that I did for the Wild Review? Yes, I'm aware how corny this connection is. Just go with it. Towards the end of season 3, around the time that I was not knowingly coming to an end with the Wild Review show that I was putting on before I started doing genuine reviews, I decided to do an episode that gave you an inside look on how I made Wild Reviews at the time. It's not a difficult process. I highly doubt it's different than any other reviewer online. Back in the day, though, it was very time-consuming for me because I was balancing that plus school and other activities. So for me, at that time, it was considered a lot of hard work. But in all honesty, it was a very simple system. It was finding something I wanted to talk about, watching what I wanted to talk about, writing down all the notes, filming the video, editing the video, getting all the clips and photos that I needed for the video. Then I would finalize it, give it one last look, export it, upload it, repeat for about 20 more episodes because that's how many I did in a season. It was time consuming, but it was fun. So I thought we would take a look at that, considering it's been about 5 to 6 years, and I've definitely done some stuff differently, especially now that I'm doing Rewild. So I figure we'll check that out, and then as a treat at the end, that is if you can behave yourself, I'll give you an inside look to how I put together Rewild. It's pretty much the exact same thing, but a few things have changed. So this isn't a behind-the-scenes episode necessarily like this was, but I guess in a way it is. This is the Wild Review Behind the Scenes Rewild. Ba-ba! I actually want to do something a little different. It's something that I've actually been wanting to do for a while, and that's actually give you a little inside scoop of making a Wild Review. So my last Wild Review is a video that, at the moment is not on YouTube. At least anymore. What? Last week I put up a review of The Prince and the Pauper, a modern Twain story. I accidentally said a Mark Twain story in the review. It's actually called a modern Twain story. But if you didn't see it, well, that's a little problem. Wednesday night I got an email that the video was taken down for a copyright claim. I don't remember that. I do not remember The Prince and the Pauper being taken down. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was. Oh yeah! Wait, why is it back up? I remember now. I was away and I just put up the Prince and the Pauper review video, only to find that it was taken down, but then it was put back up. And clearly, this was filmed during the time it was taken down, like the very small amount of time when the video wasn't online anymore. And it magically just came back one day. I have no idea what the problem is. You know what? Hell, let's figure this out. Is there still like a copyright thing on it? There may be a copyright thing on it. I mean, I don't know. It's public. There were no restrictions. So what was the problem? I guess YouTube detected that I had some footage that didn't belong to me, even though, like mentioned, it is fair use on what I'm doing. So I guess it just didn't recognize it at that point, but then realized, oh wait, this video is fine, and I guess it just went back up, because it's completely fine. Let's do it. Alright, so it's Thursday, September 22nd, and usually I would be a bit more on schedule with this stuff, and I kind of am. I'm almost done with the review. These are my notes for the... Pink pad! That's a pink pad! I use a blue pad! That's a pink pad! When did I start using a pink pad? I'm in the middle of watching the film right now, and like I showed you, I have notes. I write down the notes, which are the jokes that I'll say, or maybe like I insert something. What I've started doing as of this season is I started writing like the time that it happens, like the time that the thing I'll be talking about happens. So like if there's a line that I didn't understand, I can go to that time in the movie and then just check it. So stupid me, when I first started doing the Wild review, would not put time codes on any note that I made or any joke I thought was funny. And stupid me's logic was like, well, I'll remember it when it comes to editing and when I'm filming, like, I know what I'm doing. Well, clearly I didn't. I can't express enough how many times in both Season 1 and Season 2, even when I thought it was a good idea, I would look at a joke or a comment, not understand why I wrote it, and just not say it. And then the potential for any other comedy would be lost. I kept doing it until Season 3, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start writing some time codes. I'm going to need them, so this way I understand what I'm talking about. Because after all, that is important. You really should know what you're talking about. Let me just... I gotta shut these blinds, because what will happen is when I film, if you've noticed in some of the videos, because it has shown, the footage will go dark and then light, and dark, light, it gets annoying. I'm trying to fix that, but it's mostly due to the light. To this day, I still don't know why that camera does that. Yes, I did just say that camera, because I'm actually filming with a different camera. Ever since 31 Wild Halloween Review Nights, and up until this point, I've been using a different camera. My old camera, there's nothing wrong with it, it's fine, it's just getting old. Like, I still use it, but I can tell it's getting old. The battery is completely damaged because I destroyed it when I was working on a project. I kept plugging it in when it wasn't fully dead and unplugging it when it wasn't fully charged. So I basically destroyed the camera inside. So on 90% battery, it'll think that it needs to be charged. Good job, me. I've had that camera for years, and I don't know what I pressed years ago for the camera exposure to just kind of spaz out. There have been times where I have filmed stuff on that camera and it'll just go dark for no reason. Like the lighting won't be suitable and everything will just get extremely dark, but then it'll get extremely bright again, and sometimes it'll go in and out. I don't know why it does that. Surprisingly, it didn't act up that much when we did the Wild review, but I do remember there were times where it would act up, sometimes really bad, and a little more surprising because I filmed near windows, and usually windows or any sort of outside light was the worst filming with that camera, because obviously the outside light is going to catch the attention of the cameras, everything inside will get dark. Like 5 minutes to 7, and I'm gonna start filming it. I had all day, but I had school, obviously. I didn't get home till like 3. And then I eat lunch because I don't have a lunch period in my school. They didn't give me a lunch period for my schedule. I asked them to do with credits and stuff, so now I have to eat lunch when I get home. I feel like I should clarify this. I was a senior at the time when I was filming this, and in my high school, when you're a senior, you never got lunch. They never put it on your schedule, and that's not because they hated us, not because they were being cruel or denying us food, but it was just a thing that happened. I don't know the full reason as to why seniors never got lunch, but it technically wasn't a horrible thing because that meant all the seniors were able to leave a period earlier. So for most people, it didn't really bother them, mainly because they didn't want to be in school in the first place. For me, it was kind of bothering because I didn't have a lunch period anymore, and I enjoyed lunch. I enjoyed sitting with friends if we had the same lunch period and just kind of chatting. But I will admit, it was pretty cool getting out of school earlier than everybody else. Hello, welcome to The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and today I'm going to review a thing. Mark Twain is a famous author, and one of his best-known books that is perfect for children to read is called The Prince and the Pauper. Let me do that over. Hello, welcome to The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and today I'm going to review a thing. Mark Twain is a pretty well-known author. Hello, welcome to The Wild Review. I'm The Wild Reviewer, and today I'm going to review a thing. Mark Twain is one of the best... Someone's playing rap music. I think one time I did the opening like 20 times. I don't really film with scripts, that's the thing. Like that episode, and even this episode, when I do anything Wild Review related, I go by notes. I don't have a full-on script, so I'm just kind of saying everything on the top of my head, and sometimes I do have to repeat myself because it doesn't come out the way I want it to, or I think I could say something a little differently, or maybe I just didn't like the way I said something. But you'd be amazed that the one thing that I say in every episode, despite not saying it in this episode, you'd be amazed how many times I'd have to redo it. But I think that's because whenever I did the intro, I always wanted it to be one take in terms of introducing what I was going to talk about. So it would be, hello, I'm The Wild Review, on The Wild Review, and today I'm a review thing. Animation seems to be dying. And then it would continue on with the remaining stuff I wanted to say in the intro until I had said enough to where I knew for a fact I was going to cut and transition into something else. So that's why I had to do the intro so many times. The filming took long. Filming for The Wild Review, and even for something like this, could take at least an hour. Like, real time now, I've been here for about a half hour, and I'm only halfway through what I want to do. When it comes to actually reviewing something, I think the longest was 2 hours. I do remember when I was doing 31 Wild Halloween review nights, I remember those would also be pretty long, mainly because I would try to film multiple reviews in one day. That was the thing with the holiday miniseries. When I did 25 days, I think I would do the same thing, but those were a little shorter. Apart from episodes where I talked about things that had a more bigger thing to be discussed, like the Christmas Carol and the Grinch, because those were a little bit shorter, I either did one a day or I did 2 a day, but I know for a fact for the Halloween miniseries, I once filmed 4, I think, in one day. Maybe it was 3. I definitely know I filmed 3 reviews in one day, and that was all the Addams Family movies. I filmed all those in one day. Maybe did I film 4? I probably did. That seems about right. That was an interesting time in my life. Takes a long time. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Tomorrow, I will be doing that little bit I still need to do with the shovel, the digging bit. I also need to start editing it because it's got to go up Monday. I also got to start editing the whole thing because it's got to go up by Tuesday. I have about 4 days left, and now that I'm back in school, it's going to be a little more harder. Cutting it short, aren't you, buddy? Nowadays it's a little different because it's August. I'm doing some things ahead of time, but I guess back in the day I really didn't think about that. So I didn't realize how close it was. I guess it was pretty close. I really don't have any memory of that. Maybe it was the later episodes where I was doing it 2 weeks in advance. I knew it was like a very intense schedule doing the Wilds review, but Jesus. Okay, so all of the video. This is my intro. This is my nice little desk where I kind of work on some stuff. This is all the clips for the review. Just me personally, the review itself, and then a little skit at the end. I filmed the skit last night, but I forgot to film some behind the scenes stuff about it. So this is the project. I edit everything in iMovie. So this is the opening title so far. I never really delete this until the season comes to an end, where I'm gonna put a new titles. I don't edit in iMovie anymore. Well, at least not the Wild review. I don't do any Wild review episodes in iMovie anymore. I think the final episode was maybe the one that I did on April Fool's in 2020. I think just before 31 Wild Halloween review nights. I think that April Fool's episode was the final thing that I not only shot on my other camera, now thinking about it, but also the final thing I edited in iMovie. Now I edit in Final Cut Pro. I've been editing for a while in Final Cut Pro, like even years before I was doing the Wild review. I always saw Final Cut Pro as the software I would use for any bigger projects, but this is a new laptop. Or at least it was new around the time 31 Wild Halloween review nights was a thing. And I didn't like the iMovie on this laptop. I have a little secret to tell you. I still have the iMovie that looks like this on my other computer. I never updated it because I didn't like how the updated one looked. And I gave the updated iMovie a try. It is not my favorite. It's actually a little frustrating to use at times. So I edit on Final Cut Pro now. Okay, so that's how long the video came out to be. About 18 minutes. That's not going to stay because I still need to get some other footage. But everything's basically done, and if you could look around, look outside. You can't really see a good view from out here, but it's obviously dark. It's darker than it was before. I'm really sorry I didn't get any footage of me editing all this footage, but my camera was charging. I actually finished all this around 15 minutes ago. You can see right there my battery's running low, but it's also 7:47. I actually started around like 2-ish. Now some could say it takes 5 hours. This really actually, I want to say maybe, it actually didn't take that long. I took a long break. I ate something. I was just resting. I was being a procrastinator. But I want to say, these are the clips down here. So this clip... So you didn't edit for 5 hours. You procrastinated and edited in between procrastinating. Good job? Okay, now I'm a little curious. Why did we film outside? I saw a little clip of it, but I don't remember why I filmed outside. Oh, it's coming back to me now. Hang on. I said I was digging for something, and I think my brother was there. Was he playing Marty?
And frankly, I just hate dirt. There's money in dirt.
Oh. There's what?
There's money in dirt.
There's money in dirt?
There's money in dirt.
What the hell are you doing?
There's money in dirt!
You need to get friends.
Was that real dirt? I don't even remember. It was probably real dirt because I don't think I had the brain cells to be as clever and actually insert sounds of dirt. Alright, there was an ending also. Oh, it was real dirt! There's no money in dirt. Say it.
He lied to me.
Oh.
The old guy lied to me. There's no money in dirt.
He said it! I forgot I did that. I guess I did have real dirt. Oh, wow.
Wowie!
What a time. So what you're watching right now is basically the next step of making a wild review, which is getting the footage for the thing that I am reviewing. I do this not all the time, but I do it in the kind of videos where I'm like going into detail with the review. Like this one, I'm physically pointing out stuff that happened in the video. I'm basically like pointing out stuff that happened in the movie to like make jokes or something, and I'm not actually speaking as I'm recording this. What you're hearing right now is pre-recorded because whatever sounds my laptop picks up will go straight in the video, and I don't want to interrupt like the video recording whatsoever. I don't want to put my voice in where the clips are going to go. I've been really curious for years how other people who do movie reviews, how they get their footage, and I just assumed that they screen recorded the film that they were talking about, which is why I started screen recording it. I don't use clips from movies anymore when doing the Wild review. I kind of stopped doing that when I stopped doing the major show within a show, although it has kind of continued on later in season 5 and a little in season 6, as we saw. But I generally don't know how they do it. They must have some sort of cable that allows them to screen record their television or their computer, so they get crystal clear images and perfect sound, because if you can tell on these Wild review episodes, the sound isn't the best. You can clearly tell it's been screen recorded. In fact, in some episodes, you can even tell that it's been screen recorded. I've always wondered that, and I've never been able to get it perfect, but I feel like in recent years, I've been able to get it perfect. I don't really do it anymore, but I hope. Alright, so it's Tuesday, exactly 1 minute before 7 o'clock, and I just spent the last hour editing the full Wild review episode that will be going out today. That's a great photo of me. Somebody should take that photo. I really waited till the last minute for this thing, didn't I? It is Tuesday. Your episode goes out on Tuesday. Why isn't it already ready? So, yeah. So, I didn't really get footage of me editing the movie clips into the video because I was kind of... I didn't want anything really distracting me, and I felt like it was probably going to distract me a bit. Also because it's kind of hard to edit when I'm holding the camera. I could have put it on a tripod, but I was in a certain place that the tripod wouldn't fit, so... I don't know why I didn't screen record myself editing. I could have easily just screen recorded me in iMovie editing the episode. Like I screen record the movie. Ah! But now that everything's done, it's now time for the final steps of putting the video up. I looked through it really quick. I didn't watch it for 20 minutes because that would have been not as long as I was editing it. But now is the second to last step, which is exporting the project. So I have to save it to Finder, this part, or QuickTime. And that's how long the video takes to upload. Or export, actually. It's not actually like 2 hours. In some cases it says 2 hours. It depends how long the video is, like 20 minutes. These 2 hours actually go by fast. It's not even going to say 2 hours in the next couple of minutes. It's going to change over to maybe an hour. The amount of time I think this thing will export to is most likely 50 minutes, maybe an hour. But hopefully by... see, there it goes. It says an hour, so it doesn't actually mean 2 hours. The exports always, and still do, take the longest in iMovie. Because again, I still edit with iMovie, the old iMovie on my old laptop for different projects. But they always take the longest. I remember once I did a 3-minute video. It was one of the earliest things I edited in iMovie, and it took 2 hours to export. literally 2 hours. Like, we're not talking about the abbreviated time here that we witnessed for Prince and the Pauper, where it only took just 45 minutes. This one literally took 2 hours to export. And I have no idea why. I don't know why it takes so long in iMovie, but it does.
Yeah, this was a little behind-the-scenes look of how a Wild review is made. This is what I actually go through with making it, and it's not always this long, because some of the movies I watch are long, some of them are short. Sometimes I just have discussions. But that's basically what goes on. The washing machine's being extremely loud. So I guess I should probably end this. It's still got 15 minutes left, so thanks for watching the little behind-the-scenes look, and yeah, I guess I'll see you next week for another review. Should be fun. Well, that was a nice trip down memory lane, but I think it's time for a little treat now. Yay! So we saw the process of a Wild review episode from back in the day, but I don't do the Wild review as much anymore. I do Rewild, and I thought it would be neat to give you a behind-the-scenes look on how one of these are made. It's a little different from how I've done the Wild review, especially since it's not as time-consuming, because I think I put myself on a better schedule, but also I'm not reviewing a film or a TV show, I'm reviewing old reviews that I have done. It's a different sequence on how things are done. So the first thing that happens is I watch the episode before recording. I'll let you in on a little secret. If you think I am just sitting here for roughly 30 minutes watching the full episode, you are mistaken. That said, this computer is not just for show. I do in fact have the episode up, and I will use it to look back at the episode to make those comments and to give me an idea of how much time I need between watching and making the comment. But I also have, and you know what, let me just, excuse me. So on the screen here, if we scroll down, these are the notes. So every time I watch a Wild review episode, I end up making notes in my notes app, and I just write down what I think. Now, the only difference that you may notice is there are no time codes anywhere, but unlike the other Wild review episodes, I haven't had a need for them. Originally, I was putting in time codes, but I actually learned that it's a little better, and especially since I have the episode in front of me when I'm doing these videos, it's very easy for me to just go back and look to see what a specific note connects to. I've gotten better at it. The next thing after that is filming. I come here, set up the table, which is just the table, and I set up the green screen. I get the chair and my laptop and props, and I sit here for roughly an hour just filming the video. Now again, I cheat a little. I don't watch the entire Wild review for a second time. I mostly peruse it, and then I'll just stare as I'm watching. I'll use it for the clips that I use when I'm staring at the old episode, and I'll mostly just save the notes that I have written down. I'll do my unscripted intro and outro, and then I'll go into the notes. So that is that. But there are two more steps. Two more! And for this one, I'm gonna have to tell you it, but we're going to be looking at footage that I haven't filmed yet. Wow! Future. That would be time travel. The next step after filming is editing. Now, here's another little secret. I mean, I don't think it's a secret. I think I even mentioned it early on. I'm filming these in advance. When I did season 1 of Rewild, I filmed it within 2 weeks of one another. Like, I would film episode 1, and then episode 2, then episode 3, but when episode 3 was being filmed, episode 1 was going out. It was a process. Well, since last year, I thought of doing this process a little differently by filming them all at once, months in advance, and then I would start editing them. So at the moment, it is the middle of August that this particular episode is being filmed, and I will most likely film the remaining episodes of the season later on this week or next week. There's still about 8 episodes left, so I have about 8 more shoots I have to do. I've been doing them back to back each day, but I would film them now, and then I would start editing about a few weeks before the episode goes out. So I'm aiming to do the editing process for episode 1 at the beginning or second week of September. This way it is ready for its release on September 26th. I seriously hope I stick to this schedule. So I'm aiming, this is what I'm hoping, I'm aiming the episodes to be edited at least 2 weeks in advance before they officially go out. And there is a process with how they are edited as well, and I may have caught, I didn't catch it here. Let me just take a photo. I'm not bringing you back over here. You're not coming back into my personal space. So there's a specific order when it comes to editing. I have to do 5 different things. First, I have to put all the clips in the timeline and edit the clips down. Now, as easy as editing would probably sound, it is very time consuming, especially when I'm editing something that I'm in, because I have to deal with different takes, different ways I've said lines, and any interruptions. Once I have a timeline filled with how I think the episode is going to go in terms of me talking and saying stuff, I then go into the second phase of adding in any zooms or close-ups that I think would be funny for the episode. So I have to go back to the very beginning and see if there's a moment that I think would be funny if I had a zoomed in face, or if I should get closer to myself, or if I want to put myself somewhere different. That's what that part is all about. So I have to go through the whole entire episode while also kind of analyzing what I filmed. That's also part of that. That's one way for me to look back to see if I need certain clips or not, if I think the video is better or worse without a certain clip. The third phase is adding in the Wild Review episode. Now, because I have all the episodes backed up now, I'm able to just take it off of my hard drive, put the episode into the timeline itself, and I just pick the bits that I'm going to be using. Like the movie reviews for the Wild Review, I don't use all of the Wild Review episode I'm looking back at, but I can't just take certain parts out. I have to actually bring in the entire episode. And then I just edit along with the episode. Whatever parts I'm specifically talking about, they go on the timeline. Everything else just stays where it is. The fourth phase involves any photos or backgrounds that I want for the episode, particularly for the green screen. When I first started doing the Wild Review Rewild, I actually wanted a moving background. I would want video. In fact, the very first episode shows me on a beach, like an active beach, and that is some B-roll that I downloaded off of YouTube. And I don't do that anymore because that specific clip gave me malware on my computer. The website that I had been using to download media off of YouTube, I guess got shut down or something bad happened to it, but either way, it kind of became corrupted. I was not aware of it. That said, I found another way to download YouTube videos or backgrounds that I'd like to use for certain things. But I've just gotten really into liking the normal backgrounds, like photos. And then I would add any photos that I think would make the video funny that can appear on screen. Like this! I don't know what this is, but I'm sure I'll find something. And now keep in mind, this particular phase is another chance for me to start from the very beginning of the episode to look at it the whole way through to see if anything could be cut out. It's my second watch over ever since I put all the things on the timeline. There is one more watch through that I do, and that is in phase 5 when I add all of the text and sound effects needed for the episode, if any are needed. If I need to include any text at all, or which most of the time I will have to because of the Wild Review watermark that I put at the corner of the episode, or just the title. But sound effects, that can go either way. Any last minute things that I want to add to the video, that is also included into that specific phase. So as a whole, I go through the video essentially 5 times, between breaking it down and doing a rough edit of it, adding in any zooms and close-ups, putting in the Wild Review episode, adding in the photos and backgrounds, and then adding in the text and sound effects and any last minute things. It does take a while. I will admit it takes about a week. And it's only that long because I'm kind of busy nowadays, even more than I used to be. I had a little more free time back then, even though I was juggling school, but still, getting old means a lot of responsibilities. And then we have the final step,
which is uploading the video. Exporting it is no longer a huge hassle because Final Cut tends to export it a little bit quicker than iMovie does. I only have to wait, I think, maybe the maximum is 10 minutes. It really just depends how long the episode is. And then I upload the video onto YouTube, which takes a little longer. I don't know if it's because of a bigger file that it is, or maybe it's because it's a video out of Final Cut and not iMovie, but it also could be because of how YouTube is now. YouTube has changed. It's a changed place. But that's it. That's how I do a Rewild episode, and it works out for me, and I'm not changing it. Well, this has been fun, hasn't it? But you know what? I think I should probably get back to fixing the old green screen so we have a new adventure for next week and I don't end up breaking the fourth wall. Thank you for checking out this episode of Rewild. If you enjoyed what you saw here, give it a like if you'd like to. If you're interested in checking out this episode I looked back at, it'll be in the description below, along with the 2 playlists to the previous 2 seasons of Rewild, if you'd like to check that out. And with that said, I'm gonna be here for a while. I'll see you next week when I'm doing the exact same thing. Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Review, and you just saw me review a thing.
Wild like wildlife.